I have no impact as an AD carry. I feel like I'm useless. I'm going to switch to jungle because that's the easiest role to climb. Tyler 1 did it in the quickest amount of time. So why can't I use jungler to get to challenger or to get to my goal rank? In today's profile review, we're going to be looking at an account who literally applied that theory and failed. They had really great success on AD carry, and then all of a sudden they decided to switch to jungle because they didn't think they had enough impact. So we're going to be breaking down everything this player needs to do to go from bronze, which they currently are, to get to gold, which is their goal rank, as well as what they need to do to fix their champion pool, the role they're playing, and how to make sure that they are having enough impact as an AD carry. Now, before we get into this profile review, if you're interested in getting your own profile reviewed, please click the link in the description below and you can sign up for your very own free profile review. Let's get into it. My name is Dylan from lolcoach.academy and I'll be doing the profile review of your account today. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be telling you exactly what you need to fix in order to go from bronze 3 to gold 4, which is your rank goal. Let's get into it. So the big two things I'm going to focus on for this profile review are the role you're playing in order to climb and the champions that you're playing in solo queue, because these right now are the two biggest factors that are currently holding you back from climbing and that hold most bronze players and silver players from climbing to gold for the first time. Let me dive into that a little bit more. So right now we can see you're a bit of a jungle main, and in your last 200 games this season, you are averaging a 48% win rate. We can't climb with a 48% win rate, so something needs to change. And when something needs to change, we generally look at a player and see, well, what are they having success on, or where are there some signs that they're having success on? And for you, in this case, it's your Zeri. Your Zeri is by far your highest win rate champion, and I can also see that AD carry is by far your best role. So I have a feeling maybe you switched out of AD carry because you felt like you weren't having enough impact, or you felt a bit useless. But in reality, you've actually got your highest win rate percentage on AD carries this season, and so jungle is just really not a good choice if your goal is to actually climb to gold. And that's what I'm assuming this profile review is all about, because that's your goal rank. You want to get to gold, and so I'm going to help you try and get there. For example, if you had just played your Samira, Zeri, and Tristana, and let's say your win rate on all of them dropped to around 55 to 60%, so a hell of a lot lower than what they are right now. You, instead of being bronze 3 after 200 games, you would most likely be silver 2 or silver 3 in the same amount of games, just by having a better strategy and by continuing to play your most successful role. And Tony, this is the biggest thing that is holding you back right now. For some reason, and I don't know why, you've switched to jungle. So the first thing I'm going to recommend you do is to stop playing jungle and focus on AD carry. And ideally, try and one-trick one of these champions. So whichever one you enjoy the most, whether it's Samira, Zeri, or Tristana. I think Tristana is probably the most consistent, and Zeri and Samira a little bit niche, but all three champs, you could climb one-tricking to gold playing them. You could one-trick to diamond playing them. The champion isn't the problem. It's what you're going to enjoy and what you feel like you can stick with for the longest. Because when we're looking at climbing from bronze to silver to gold, it is all about strategy. The average player has the skill level and the in-game ability to actually play at a gold solo queue level. The problem is they don't do the work, or they don't have a strategy to get there in the first place. And so you see a lot of bronze players and silver players who, yeah, they could definitely match a gold player in solo queue, but because they haven't put in the hard work before, they haven't had a strategy that they've kept consistent, they haven't stuck to a small champion pool or one role, they never actually get to play against their kind of skill level or higher, because they simply never climb there, because they're just having low win rates over hundreds of games just like you. So I would recommend picking one of those champions as your one trick, and I literally mean like 90 to 100% of your games you're playing that one champion. If I was you, I would pick Tristana, but your Zeri and your Samira also have a lot of potential. Again, if I was you, I would cut out jungle completely. You can have it as your secondary role if you want, but honestly, I would, much rather you're just focusing on AD carry as your primary thing. Now, in terms of things you've got to focus on when you're an AD carry, and a lot of these things you're doing quite well, particularly on Zeri, is your CS per minute. So anything above a 6.5 CS per minute from bronze to gold is pretty good. Making sure your deaths are low, so keeping your deaths below really 5.5 to 6, and just making sure you've got decent kill participation. So anything between really 45 to 50% is generally a good sign that you're having enough impact as an AD carry. Because the AD carry's role is to get out of laning phase even or ahead, and then get into team fights and influence the team fight. Because AD carry, the biggest impact they have is in team fights when they can group with their team and play front to back. So, Tony, those are the big things you need to do to climb to gold. And literally, that's it. You don't need to overthink it. It's not that hard to climb to gold. But the reason only 20% of players make it to gold is because they're not willing to put in the strategy, or stick to the strategy, I should say, and put in the hard work and maintain that consistency of a small champion pool with one role, maining one role, over 200, 300 games. So that is exactly what you do to get to gold. Now, if you're like, well, I think I need some more guidance than that. I think I need some one-on-one coaching. I think I need to actually learn the game better because that's what I want to do. I'm ready to play AD carry. Or maybe you want to stick with jungle, but you're like, now I need someone to show me how to win more games, how to climb, how to get away from my bad habits, and what to do once I get to silver 4. You know, am I good enough to play at that level? What do I need to do once I get there? Do I need to play any differently? And so that's when I recommend 2 coaching strategies. One is getting a one-off game review and just dipping your toes in the water and seeing if coaching is right for you. Some players react really well to coaching. They can have one session and they learn heaps. They learn enough to keep them going for a couple of months. Other players like much more intensive coaching, and honestly, this is the most successful type of coaching we do, and that I see the quickest improvements on is monthly coaching, where you have a coach review your gameplay, you have access to them 24/7, you get a spreadsheet with your goals, statistic tracking, and focus areas for each month. You also get access to weekly boot camps to understand the game more in a group learning environment. That's the much more successful path, but it's also a bit more of a commitment. So they're the 2 paths I'd recommend for someone like you if you're serious about climbing and you're interested in getting one-on-one coaching. Overall, Tony, I think you've got a lot of potential here. All you have to do is just switch from jungle to AD carry, pick either Zeri, Tristana, or Samira, and one-trick them. Literally play 90 to 100% of your games on that champion in AD carry and just grind it out. And if you're looking to get to gold in the fastest way possible and you don't really care what account you do it on, I would suggest getting a second account, whether you buy it or hand level it, getting a second account, because this account's MMR is a little bit screwed because you've got 200 games in bronze. And basically what that means is the game thinks you deserve to be bronze, because if you've played 200 games and you still can't climb out of bronze, the game is just thinking you're there. Whether you deserve to be there or not, that's how the game works. It's unemotional, it's objective, and it's the system. We can't change it, but we can be strategic about it. So if you're trying to climb to gold really quickly and you don't mind what account, get a second account. If you want to use this account, it is possible, but it is going to take longer than if you got a new account, and just do that strategy I said before. And as well, if you get a new account, also implement the strategy I just talked about for the last 5 minutes. Cool. So once you've watched this, reach out to me if you're interested in getting coaching, or if you have any questions about this profile review. I'm happy to talk to you more about your path to gold and what you need to do to get there. And as always, cheers, good luck in the rift, and I will talk to you soon.